flying at night, and I'm sitting in the gunner's compartment looking out the side window there, and I see the red balls going up. Red balls are tracers.
Yeah.
And ours are red and ours are green. And these were red. And it didn't dawn on me for a second. Holy crap. They're shooting me.
They're shooting.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are crazy.
I ain't been this high on Perkins in a long time. I ain't been this high on Perkins in a long time. I took 2 30s and a half of a third one. I feel like I can see everything with my third eye. Feel like I'm floating, see the world from a bird's eye view.
Alright, welcome back, Third Eye Podcast. Today I have my grandfather with me, who actually was a vet from the Air Force. And what years were you actually in it for? Like, what exact?
1952 to 1976.
Okay. And then what age were you when you joined?
I was 17.
17, okay. Is that what you thought?
Yeah. 17 or 18, I thought. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I turned 19 in Korea. So,
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah. So were you actually in the Korean War and Vietnam, or just...
both. Yeah.
Both, yeah.
I caught the tail end of the Korean War.
Right.
Never got shot at except by our side one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Some friendly fire?
Yeah. Some drunk GI one night. Yeah. And I never fired a shot in anger at anyone.
Right. What's kind of the story behind the drunk guy? How did that even happen?
I don't know. I don't know who it was. We were flying at night, which we always did in the B-26. I was flying I was a gunner on that one, gunner engineer.
Mm.
We're flying at night, and I'm sitting in the gunner's compartment looking out the side window there, and I see the red balls going up. Red balls are tracers.
Yeah.
And ours are red and ours are green. And these were red. And it didn't dawn on me for a second. Holy crap. They're shooting me.
They're shooting.
Yeah, that's the only action I ever saw from our side.
Wow.
But then it was a fun night. I love the B-26. I still do. Fine little airplane.
Right.
Yep.
What part of the plane were you gunnery in?
I flew 2 positions. When we were flying bombing runs with the Norden bomb site, the navigator was in the nose, and I would ride right seat. I would fly engineer.
Okay.
So I was an engineer gunner. The other time I was in the gunner's compartment, which was after the Bombay, which were a remote control turret. And it had a periscopic sight that would flip over from up above the aircraft and to below the aircraft. I could actually turn it around and look under the body of the aircraft and see her. Really cool. Yeah, fun times.
Yeah, really. You could probably move that closer to him.
Not picking up.
I think it's picking up well. I usually do that for everybody. So, so what was kind of the first thought in your mind of I would like to join the military? You know, how did that kind of first dawn on you about a possibility?
Well, it's a strange thing. Excuse me. I had 2 brothers in the Navy at that time.
Oh, okay.
And up until Friday, I wanted to join the Navy.
Right.
And Saturday, I joined the Air Force.
Right.
So some probably misguided thing about one brother that was killed in the Second World War. I was in the Air Force as a gunner, so that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So I got into basic training, and they asked us all what we would like to do, and I said, well, I want to be a gunner. And they figured if I was dumb enough to do that, come and help me.
Right.
Then we'll allow you.
Yeah. So I went to gunnery school in the B-29 in Denver, Colorado. And at the completion of that, they asked for volunteers to go to the B-26 in Korea, and I, of course, volunteered, being very intelligent at the time. And wound up there, combat crew training in Langley, Virginia, and survival training at Stead in outside of Reno, Nevada. and on to Korea. I got there, 2 or 3 days before the war ended.
Oh wow.
So I
yeah.
get the medal, but I didn't do any of the shooting.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's that.
2 or 3 days before, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy. You said you were 17, correct, when you joined?
Yeah.
I think is that still the actual law that you can be 17 now?
Your parents have to sign for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Looking back, do you think that was like too young, or that should be changed?
Well, looking back, I would not have done that. I would not have quit school in the first place.
Oh, right.
But did take the GEDs later, and so I did graduate in the way. But anyway, yeah, I was too young. I should have stayed, and I could have been an officer. I could have been a pilot instead of the gunner. But that's the only thing I read there. But being a gunner, I loved it. I was young and stupid, like we all are at that age. And you're that age, aren't you?
There you go. What exactly is involved in that job? Like
Being a gunner.
yeah.
Well, mostly, like they say, R's and R's is sheer boredom, punctuated by moments of stark terror. So that's the way it is. My job was to defend the aircraft if we were attacked by fighters.
Right.
But I did a lot of ground strafing. We would come down and fly around a target, and I would annihilate it with my guns. I was really good with that too. If you were on a football field, you wouldn't get off the field.
Right.
50 caliber is an awesome weapon.
Yeah, definitely. And then when you first joined, was there a lot of training? Because it sounds like you pretty much were in the field pretty soon.
Oh yes, well, that's enlisted in '52, and came back from Korea in '53. So it was the gunnery school, the B-29 gunnery school, was the longest I'd spent in Denver, and then the very short course for the B-26, and then combat crew training in Virginia. That was only a month or two, and then on over to Korea.
Right. Is the Air Force training the same as what you would see for like the Army in like films, where it's very like strict and very hard-headed, I guess?
No. The rah-rah stuff, no, we didn't have that. It was a school situation.
Right, yeah.
And the only time I got barked at was in basic training, which wasn't bad at all. If they do that to everybody,
Right.
make your life miserable. Is the goal. But we had a pretty good DI as a drill instructor. Sergeant Hadley, as I remember. He's a three-striper. And at that point, the Air Force was going from the brown shoe to the blue outfits, We call them the brown shoes. And some guys were still wearing brown uniforms, some of the old NCOs. And they came out with the Air Force thing, and he said, Buck Sergeant, the ranks in the Air Force were Airman Basic, Airman First, Third Class, Bucking Class was a corporal, Airman Third Class was old sergeant. Okay, and they decided the sergeant was going to be an Airman First Class, and our DI was very upset. I'm not no goddamn Airman First Class. I'm a Buck Sergeant. So, yeah, that's some of the old guys thought that way. Transitioned into the brown shoes. It used to be the Army Air Corps.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then in 1947, it was changed into the Air Force, United States Air Force.
Right, okay. And then were airplanes already kind of an interest of yours, or did that all come from being in the job?
I came from being in the job. Like I said, I wanted to go in the Navy up until Friday.
Right.
And Saturday I joined the Air Force. I was looking at the submarines. That's why I wanted to
Oh,
go.
okay.
Submariner?
And now
Yeah.
that would scare the hell out of me. Now I got claustrophobia. I probably wouldn't work so good. I didn't have it then, really, so bad. I wouldn't have got through survival training if they hadn't.
Right.
We were captured during survival training and put in a concentration camp and interrogated, and they had the black box. Okay, they shove you in there and you're all stretched up like this.
Oh,
I
man.
couldn't do that now. That'd drive me
I could
bananas.
never do that. I got the same issue.
Yeah.
Man.
But made it through there. But then after that, only in my later years did I start getting the claustrophobia thing. Anyway, old soldiers never die. We just smell that way.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. That sounds horrible. The box thing. That's.
Yeah.
I could never.
It's designed to be horrible, and it's very effective.
Right.
The schedule, we knew what was going to happen. And
Oh yeah.
I've been in the box maybe 3 times. And I'm into my last interrogation. Yeah. And the guy jumped up and the face right here said, "How you like me to spit in your face?" And I said, "How'd you like to get knocked in your ass?" Back in the goddamn box I went. Real smart. 4 times I've been. I had enough at that point.
Right.
They make it as miserable as you can. It's very realistic, though, actually, the training that we got, how to resist interrogation and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I imagine there's places on the plane that are pretty claustrophobic too.
The only one I didn't like in particular was tail gunner in the B-29. That's, you're all alone back there. I mean, you're in this little compartment and you got your gun sight and your seat folds down. You come in a door, pressurized door underneath the seat, and fold the seat down and you're in there, period.
Right.
And I didn't care for that, but it didn't bother me at that time. I did it, but I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be a tail gunner. I was the waist gunner, left waist, on both that and the B-50. Well, that's another story, B-50. I got a lot of stories. I love them. I love them.
Oh yeah. I can imagine. Like with my career ideas, I would kind of relate it to being like that's what I was meant to do. That's what I was put on this earth to do, like with film and everything. So with the Air Force, like, is that kind of how you feel about that? Like, were you made to do this in some way, or like your calling?
I love flying.
Right, right.
There's just nothing better. Some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen is the sky, clouds and sun and moon.
Right.
And one day we were coming back from far east at the night, and between Hawaii and California, there was a comet in the air at that time. And that comet was right there on our nose. It was like we were following it.
Right.
I said, if we get home and I find a kid in a manger, I'm going to be real nice.
Wow. I can definitely like that was kind of the draw, was just the sky in general and flying and stuff like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Was there any influence in your childhood to go I mean, obviously you said that your 2 brothers were in the military.
They were in the Navy. They were in the Navy.
And what was there any sort of like parental influence with that, or
No, none at all. I don't think my dad ever spoke more than 1,500 words to me in my life. He was that kind of guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. After you did join, were they okay with it, or were they a little bit?
Well, they had a sign for me to go, so
Right.
I guess they were okay. My dad signed for me.
Yeah. And obviously, if we can't talk about it, I can cut this out. But Dad was saying about top secret missions that have been declassified that you were on.
Yeah.
What are some of the stories with that?
Well, I had a top secret security clearance. And my mom got all upset because the FBI was around here asking questions about me. What did you do? I said, yeah, well, they did that for the secret clearance, and then for the top secret they did it again. So, and yes, we were aware of the war plan, the big picture of the war, what's going to happen, because we would be at that time refueling the bombers,
Right.
mostly coming back, hopefully, from their bomb run. And I knew where the refueling areas were and all that sort of thing. That was all top secret. And so that went on forever. And the most interesting one I had was during the Cuban crisis. We were spying on the Russian atomic tests. And my crew was selected, and we flew over. Getting ready to go on alert one morning, and my pilot called and said, "Stay home, pack your bags for 40 days." Okay? This is the way we operate. I told him, "Where are you going?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "I'll be back. I don't know." And she lived with us for 20 years. She's a wonderful woman. And okay, we left. We still didn't know where we were going, and finally landed in Spain, refueled, and then they caught another hop to England, Rise Norton Air Force Base in England. And found out at that time we were going to be flying spy aircraft on the Russian atomic tests,
Right.
which were on, we called it Banana Island, Nueva Lazemia, something like that, north of Russia, in the North Sea, way up there. And the plane was specially equipped. It was a 135, but it was specially equipped with high-speed camera, low-speed cameras, television, you name it. And some spooks in the back operated that equipment. And that's what we did. My job doing it was to measure the cloud, measure the height of the cloud, the width of the cloud, the base, the width of the base, the whole 9 yards with the sextant. That's what I did with the sextant. And the navigator wrote it all down while I was reading off the sextant. That was my job during that time. And I caught 2 explosions. I was over there 40 days, I think. 40 days. I caught 2 explosions. I missed the biggest one. My buddy Jake Labordi got the biggest one. Anyway, it was very interesting. Something that really disappointed me, I was here in this house, and years later after this, of course, my pilot at that time, Wilmsmeyer, called me and says, you want to get a medal? Sure, I'll take a piece of ribbon. And then he explained what he did. He filed for the DFC, Distinguished Flying Cross. And I said, yeah, I'll think about it. And then I got a message, a letter from a guy, a reporter for the Air Force Post or something, whatever, it's Air Force magazine. And he says, told me what Wilmsmeyer told him. And Wilmsmeyer said, we were so close that when it blew, we turned the airplane to the belly up so it would. We didn't do that. And he said, boy, we were so close, and bullshit we were. He said, we were 20 miles from it. No, we weren't 20 miles off. We might have been 20 miles from the exclusion zone. Might have, I don't know. But I know one time we did have a time that was going to go off. They estimated, and we did take a Z in for us because we brought to get our pictures.
Right.
But that was it. And now these guys are saying how wonderful they are. My whole freaking crew, the officers and gentlemen, mind you, lied like hell and got the DFC, and I refused to apply for it. I never did, and I never will.
Right.
So that's another thing. Anyway, other than that, I had respect for most of the pilots I flew with. I was the only enlisted man on the crew, so 135 I'm talking about now, the jet tanker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so much for those guys. They got to live it, not me.
Right. At this time, are you actually still in touch with anybody that you knew, that you met?
No, I just got an update today of called the Boomer's Gazette. It's just for boom operators.
Mm.
And sad to say, most of my guys have gone west. I just got notice today of George Burtek, a friend of mine that died.
Mm.
So I don't think I have anyone left that I really know.
Right.
You knew McPhee. McPhee, he's long gone.
Yeah.
Dead. Let's see, who else would you know? Stan Ehrenberg, maybe.
I know that name.
And his wife, Katsuyo Ehrenberg, done a company. He married a Japanese girl. Well, most of the guys that I originally went in with, I'm sure, are gone.
Right. Yeah.
Going west is the thing. When I die, I want to be a cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Rain on the Ku Klux Klan and stuff like that. Yeah, that's my idea.
It's a good idea. Dad actually brought this one up. You had an option to move overseas with the family, and you never took it. And you're just wondering why. You know?
Not in the Air Force, I didn't. After that, I had the opportunity to fly for the tankers for the Shah of Iran.
Yeah,
The
that's
Shah
what it was.
of
Oh, okay.
Iran.
Yeah.
And, I would have had to take my family, and that's why I didn't go, or I would have gone by myself. Yeah, but big money there.
Right.
Yeah, and that's how he got out of the country by the tanker. Yeah, that's how he got out.
How many
Yeah.
years later?
Oh, I don't know. I was tending bar at L-22, so
Okay, so 4 or 5 years later.
oh God, at least yeah. And let's see what else. Not in the Air Force type thing. I had the opportunity to be the police chief of Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh,
I
really?
was offered.
What?
Chief of police of Trinidad and Tobago. Whoopee. That's when I was flailing around for a job and a guard. It's on her here.
And
And I met
that
this guy.
qualified you to be.
Well, he also. Evidently, he also. He was the guy from Tobago. Trinidad. Anyway, I said, it's the same thing. I would have had to take the family. No.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Interesting life. Yes, it is.
Oh, it's definitely. And then, which other jobs did you actually have after the Air Force?
First job I had was post-precision castings, casting metal, steel in Strausstown. I was there about not a week, and I was asked to take over and run second shift, which I knew absolutely nothing about. But I did it, and we did well. We did well. They're still running second shift. It was interesting, and it got very cutthroat outfit. The supervisors were that way. For the first thing, they lost a lot of overtime when I started second shift. Not a good thing.
You don't like that.
Right.
Yeah, so knives in the back and all that sort of thing. I stood it for a while. And then the good plant manager quit and went somewhere else, and the engineer took over, Jerry Goulet. Guy had absolutely no idea how to handle people. And he was doing some things that I just couldn't do. They wanted me to do things to people I just wouldn't do, and I said,
Right.
I quit. And I went to I went to this guard job for a while, and stuff like that. And wound up in another foundry in Fleetwood, and supervisor again. The people wouldn't hire me. All I wanted to do is put it on a boat for 8 hours a day and leave me alone.
Right.
But I get hired as a boss all the time. I really don't want to do that. I only lasted maybe a month there, and I said the same thing. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
That's when I started bartending and sliding around doing anything. But people wouldn't hire me for a job.
Wow.
Weird.
Yeah.
Strange.
You have that boss air about you.
Yeah, I guess so. Mean looking mother.
Didn't you say that he used to work at the factory in Richland? Whatever the wire factory, whatever that's actually.
That was a part of the same company.
Oh, that's part of the, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's Fargo, I think. Fargo. And the other guy was from Fargo that bought it. Still there.
Yeah. I think
They manufactured harnesses for electrical harnesses for trucks.
Oh, okay.
You name it. UPS, every truck you saw, we built the dashboard and the wiring for it, every one. And I don't know if they still do or not, but yes, we did. We did that at Burnville. And we had Kenworth and Freightliner and, oh God, all the big trucks. Harnesses you wouldn't believe. Yeah, good job and good people working there. I liked it.
Yeah.
And then they went belly up, and this guy bought it and sold Burnville, but he still got
that
Richland.
Yeah.
He started making harnesses for John Deere tractors. He started. I never met him. Anywho.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that at least the one in Richland isn't. They don't own that anymore, right?
Not the guys I worked for.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, wait, no, not the guy I worked for, but the guy from Fargo, North Dakota, bought the place I was. Sold Burnville, but he still owns.
Okay. So it is a different company. Okay. Yeah. I think now even they sold it again because it's empty now.
It's empty?
Empty for a few years.
Oh, that right?
Yeah.
I never knew that. Huh.
Remember hearing about that?
No,
There's never. There's never a full parking lot anymore. There's never anyone there. There used to be people there back in like maybe 2020. I've seen people working there.
I did not know that.
Maybe COVID took care of that.
Could have.
Yeah, probably.
Took care of most things. Laurie's just getting over it.
Was there any sort of like mental toll with having that job in the Air Force and like whether it's
a conscience. I have things on my conscience.
Right.
During Vietnam, they were shielding everything, fighters, B-52 bombers, everything. So indirectly, I killed thousands of people, and I don't like that. But
right.
That's the only thing I really regret.
Yeah.
War is just stupid. It's just, can't we find a better way in this day and age and they're trying to do it again now in the Middle East. It's going to happen. It's going to blow up, you watch. Mm-hmm. And we'll be involved like we always are. And we'll wind up with accomplishing nothing for us. The last war we were in, that we accomplished something was Korea. What we wound up there with was the status quo, North Korea and South Korea.
Yeah.
But, so we did something.
Yeah, you're right.
And NAM, that was just, well, just pisses me off to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. What are some certain planes that really stood out that you might have refueled or worked with?
I refueled just about everything that could be refueled then. I started when flying the KC-97, which was a prop-driven aircraft, which was an offshoot of the B-50, which was an offshoot of the B-29. So I fly through three versions of the same airplane. And it was just the thing we were doing most refueling with at that time was the B-47. It was new, swept wing jet engine. It was fast and sleek. Boy, beautiful airplane. But it was fast and sleek, and we were slow. We abused our airplane very much. It was lucky if we got 400 hours on an engine.
Mm.
And because we were fueling them, we're going as fast as we can, and he's trying to fall out of the air. He just can't go that slow. He just can't. Sometimes they'd have to toboggan, as we call it, most of the slight descent to refuel the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it was a beautiful airplane. Still, well, it's no longer in service, but beautiful airplane. First jet bomber we had. 6-engine. Then he came out with a B-52. Super Fortress, as they called it. And we call it the big ugly fella. And they didn't like. We didn't have much respect for him, and NAM. It wasn't built for that, but that was not the idea for that bomber. It was an atomic bomber. And but they would carry like 80 freaking bombs out wing pylons and then 2 Bombays. And
Right.
I watched them from the air, and about bus strike, this horrible thing to see. It was in the jungle, about bombing monkeys most of the time. And the one story that happened over there from the F-4s, the fighters, they was like cover for these guys. And they didn't need it. There was nothing down south to shoot on. And this one buff leader came in there. He's coming down at night. He called it for his fighter cover and said, we're RTB, going to base. No, I'm not bringing my flight in there without fighter protection. Down south, they're digging fish ponds in the frickin' south. And so the guy says, the fighter pilot says, okay, we'll go up north and find a tanker and we'll come back and protect you. Which was true. We were further up north than they were. Nobody had any great love for the buffs.
Right.
And they were all heroes, see. And then they decided they're going to go up north, and they got their asses shot down. Several of them got religion at that time, decided immoral to going up there and doing that. Yeah, we did not respect the buffs very much.
Right.
Bless the guys that died, but yeah. That people rarely fly the armor-plated disc. Yeah.
You refueled some pretty exotics though, like B-1 and.
Oh yeah. The first B-1, yeah, I fueled that off the coast of California. And now they got the B-1B flying, but the B-1 was the first of them, and I built 3. Yeah. By the time we got back to the coast, he was down past Baja in California. I did not get to refuel the Blackbird. I regret that. But everything in the inventory I refueled before that. Everything. I can't think of one airplane, but it could be refueled that I didn't refuel.
Wow, yeah. What was your, like, I know like what your job was, but like what was your job during a refueling? Like what were you actually doing in that process?
The boom was a 4-inch fuel line, solid fuel line, okay, that telescoped in and out. Mm-hmm. And it had a nozzle on there, and when I plugged it into the receiver, his system would latch onto it and hold it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my system would ratchet in and out freely in contact. And that was basically the whole thing. I could dump fuel at 6,000 pounds a minute. Yeah. And there were certain things to do that you shouldn't do. There's the automatic system would just like that. I'd plug it in, and my system and his system would both fire to contacted and the boom would ratchet freely and all that sort of thing. All I had to do was follow with a stick, like a control stick on there.
yeah.
Down here, I'm laying on my belly. Somebody asked what I do. I said I lay on my belly and pass gas. Anywho, we could cut out the automatic system, and then I would have to disconnect him, but with my trigger finger over here. And then we went to another system, but it was automatic, completely controlled by me. I'd have to plug in the boom, trigger it, contact with this handle on here, and then it would operate normally that way, telescope in and out by itself. And then, but really, a no, don't do this, was manual boom latch, where my system would not trigger him to contact, and his signal was not triggering me. And so the co-pilot had a handle there that I would stick the boom in there and hold it, and he'd lock it on. But I can't disconnect.
Right.
You're now he's got me.
Yeah.
It's all up to him, period.
Yeah.
And you don't do that. Well, I was shooting B-52. He was coming out of Guam and going into Nam, and I was out of Okinawa or Taiwan, I forget where, don't know. But anywho, can't get a contact with him, won't work. Either his system or mine, I don't know which. I didn't know. He says, "Can you do manual boom latch boom?" Don't say that, because the other guys can hear me. I didn't say a goddamn word. I had switches, pilot director lights on the bottom of our aircraft. I could direct them with this forward and aft, up and down. I didn't say a word. I just turned the lights on, flicker, and given. I offloaded 113,000 pounds. And all I said, the whole thing was offload complete.
Right. Yeah.
And he backs out, But that's no fun, I'll tell you, fella, that son of a bitch.
I bet you.
Arm breaker. But anyway, okay, he backs out and he says, "Say your crew number," and the navigator talked to me. So "You're going to get a nice letter boom." I said, "Please don't."
You're going to get a what?
A nice letter.
Oh.
Please don't.
Yeah. Let's keep this on.
No, nobody said it. They all heard it, and nobody said a word. So, hey, you know what Mike did? Yeah. Fun things sometimes.
Yeah.
The one I hated to reshoot most was the C-5A, that big, huge cargo ship. The bow wave off of that sucker was so bad, you had to keep holding boom down, or it would have broke the friggin' boom. The
Really?
airflow over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your arms quivering after a while. Yeah, I hated to do that one. I had one guy, I was an instructor, flying as instructor, Woody Woods, Cleveland Woods. We're in the pod there, and here comes I'm laying in the instructor's area, just looking out the window, and there's nobody here. Woody's gone. What the hell? Like, hey, where's Woody? In the phone. Oh, he's up front here. He said, "It's too fucking big."
Oh, yeah.
He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't
Wow.
do it. He retired after that. He did. He said, it's too fucking big, man. Scared him.
Galaxy?
Yeah, scared him. So I had to jump in and do the refuel. Whoopee. Yeah,
Man.
strange things. Go ahead.
You have anything that comes to mind? I still got some more, but I'm just.
Oh, no,
wondering.
no.
Just anything you want to add?
Nothing. No, not this time.
No.
Good.
This is like kind of off topic, but we can go back and forth. Since your actual childhood was what would have been 35 to 50, 1950, like childhood age.
Yeah.
Yeah. What like were you like as a kid? Like what kind of person were you as a kid and like in school and
Well, I started in a one-room country schoolhouse,
right?
yeah, which is still here, the house now.
Mm.
But, I was a good student. I was pretty sharp. I was not bragging. For, and then I transferred down to Verneville, the big school, which is now gone. And frankly, I went down in the sixth grade. At Verneville in the sixth grade. And frankly, I was bored stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had been listening to eighth grade students being taught
Right.
in this one-room country school. And some of that rubbed off.
Mm-hmm.
I knew some of their poems, for God's sake. Boobin out on these, try to increase that cover, you know. And stuff like that. And I'm sixth grade, and I'm way ahead of these other kids. They're still reading something like Dick and Jane or something.
Yeah.
I don't want to read that. And so I flunked sixth grade. Because I didn't give all my book reports. I was going to read that goddamn stuff. Anyway, like I said, I was bored stupid in that grade. But I went through eighth and into ninth, and I loved some of that stuff. The science was great. I love history, so that was good. Math, I've never been good at math.
Me either.
No, never would. I'm going to appreciate when they come out with computers and little handheld towers. You know, that's great.
Yeah. Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
Were you often in trouble as a kid?
No.
Any kind of like mischievous activities, I guess.
Oh, maybe with my siblings, I'd do something once in a while, but no big thing. Some people were involved. Some people were involved in Halloween of pulling an old slush machine into the middle of town, turning it sideways and taking wheels off. And some people were involved in hauling a small wagon on top of a farmer's barn and struggling to peak. But some people did that. Some people did.
You've heard about things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Of course.
What was the thing that you brought up in the car?
Outhouse tipping?
Outhouse tipping. That's what.
Oh, that was standard operating procedure. Yeah. That old kid did that.
Man. How do you even tip an outhouse? Because that's like there's no bottom to an outhouse, right? Is there a floor in an outhouse or no?
Yeah.
Huh?
And a wooden bench
Yeah.
with holes in it, of course.
Yeah. Like, cause it is actually like.
There's a pit underneath.
It's over a pit.
So it's not attached to the ground at all. There's no.
No.
Okay,
It's
so that
just sitting there.
Yeah. Man. Has music had a big impact on you in
I
general?
love music. It'd be a sorry world without music.
Absolutely.
But they don't make music anymore, in my opinion. That's just my taste. But this phenomenon going on right there with Taylor something.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
I couldn't tell you one song she sings. I couldn't say one thing about it. I don't know. But some of it, that popular in the old days, you heard them all the time. And you could sing along with them.
Right.
Forbid. I don't know what she sings about. But anyway, but they just don't make music like they did. I have tons of old music that I play all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't appreciate what they call music these days. Like rap, rap, come on. Give me a friggin' break. And stuff like that. I just can't. Sore subject for me. It's like war.
Right. At what age do you kind of get like more into music? Because I feel like as a kid I was always into music, but like at like 12, 13 is when it really like clicked for me, you know, and like really just getting the whole experience, I guess.
I was born and lived in the big band era.
Right.
and vinyl records, the old vinyl crack. I got the Trolla.
Wind up.
Yeah, yeah. And this played constantly.
Mhm.
Big band, Glenn Miller, Benny Goodman, Guy Lombardo, all those guys. And also country and western. My two brothers at home, Carl and Ralph, they both played instruments. Ralph played the violin and Carl the guitar. And they played in little cowboy bands and they got together. And I have no talent to play anything. Trouble with the radio is they say, I can't play that rock. And but I really, really love that kind of music.
Right.
But I can, these earliest memories are of that kind of music.
As long as you remember.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't play instruments either. I've been trying with the guitar and stuff, but it's just I can't. I don't have the musical like
I don't
talent.
have it either. I just can't.
Yeah.
It's like rubbing your belly and patting your head at the same time. I can't do that.
Yeah, you can do it and you can't. And you can train yourself to do it, but it's never the same as,
Yeah.
like music. You can play mechanically. That doesn't mean you're a player.
Are there any like really big musicians that have talked about like literally just teaching themselves and not really having that at first? Because I've never heard of that, but
I haven't heard of that.
yeah.
I think there might be somebody in the western genre. Some of those guys were playing banjos and all that sort of thing when they were kids.
Yeah.
I got one song out here on the country and western. How's it titled? Somebody killed western music, and it goes on about that same thing. And can't play it anymore. You got amps and all kinds of crap going on, and you can't do it. Somebody killed western music. Yeah.
Are there those type of bands? Like I know there are like those type of bands still.
What type of band?
Just where they have a bit different instruments and like.
And like all acoustic
Yeah.
bands too.
Yeah.
Oh, sure there are.
They had
Absolutely.
When I was growing up, they had several bands around there. We had places for them to play too, like Himmelreich Grove was over St. Robsonia, Wilmsdorf. They had Blue Mountain over the hill there. The stage, it's basically just a stage, and these guys come in and play, and they got seats out there, and they bring your own seats.
Right.
But that was it. That was it. Uncle Jack and Mary Lou was one of them. And let's see, gosh, I don't remember them all. My brother, the one that was killed in New Guinea, he drove for a band. It was a country western called Hank Wilson and the Bums. They were not western music, but they had a band and they were very good. And
They toured apparently.
yeah, they did. Yeah,
He was a tour driver.
Yeah, he drove for them. I remember when they played, after he was killed, we were at Himmelreich Grove, which was one of the places they played. And they sang My Buddy. And it wasn't a dry eye, and the guy up there, he must have been quite a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember him, sad to say. They were coming back from a raid, probably on Rabaul. And I don't know if they were in weather or not, but they struck a hill coming into land, and the whole crew went west at that time.
Wow. What advice would you give to a kid looking into the Air Force now?
Well, I always considered the Air Force Hotel Terry, above the Army. The Army will take anybody.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
just want a warm body.
Right.
The Air Force is much more technical. You could go to the recruiter and say, I'm interested in the Air Force, but I want to be in, what do you call what you're doing?
I just in the
Media?
film industry, film. Yeah.
Okay. Tell them that. They have these guys, they train you.
Right.
And they're the ones that make all the training films and stuff like this, and the propaganda films, they want to call them that. That's what they do. That's their job.
Right.
And he'll tell you whether or not it's available.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did when I went on. Listen, what would you like to do? I said, I want to be a gunner. Okay, fine. And then he came around in basic and asked again, yeah, I want to be a gunner. Okay, send you to gunnery school.
Mm-hmm.
And look at it this way. 4 years seems like an eternity to you. But that's what you have to put in, 4 years, and you can get out if you want to. Or you can stay for 20, God forbid. And you got a damn good pension, and you got support for life. You got medical. And if you're thinking in the long term, you can't beat it. Where else can you retire in 20 years?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But, and think about it. You talk to a recruiter. You're not committing yourself. Go talk to a guy.
Right. Yeah.
It is much more technical than the Army.
Yeah.
I can't speak for the Navy. I don't know. And the Marines don't even think. They're just cannon fodder. Those are the rednecks, the guys.
Yep.
You can't take my gun from me, my gun. Yeah, come on. AR-15s. AR-15 was designed and built for one specific purpose. That was to kill people.
Exactly.
Now, they got to have them to hunt deer. Now, if you need 30 rounds to kill a freaking deer, you don't belong in the woods.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
always been a very transparent excuse that they use.
Oh yeah.
Nobody ever.
The IRA, they used to be a good outfit. They taught children safety and how to hunt and the whole nine yards. It was a good idea. Good fine. But none of them went crazy about it then.
Yep.
And that was their biggest one. AR-15s.
Yeah.
Elevated them down.
Strong supporters of that,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Yep. I agree. In your experience, how has the Air Force changed since back then to now?
Much, much more technical.
Right. Right. Yeah.
We were just starting a little bit with computers when I retired, and that was very little, very little.
Yeah.
I was in real estate for a bit after I retired, and we had a computer, but you had to dial it up on the telephone because the computer
Yes,
itself
it was
yeah, that's
North
right.
Carolina. Or something.
dial-up modem.
Yeah. So that was all my experience with computers. I don't understand them. Frankly, I don't want to get involved in them. I have enough trouble with the damn phone.
Yeah.
Smartphone, it is smarter than me. So,
Yeah, I wonder, like, just if the atmosphere has changed as far as the culture, in the military, changed from then to now. Because I don't know.
I think it has to change in some way, but the Air Force, I don't believe so. The basic training is not crazy tough.
Right.
It's a pain in the ass, but it's not crazy. You learn to march, whoopee. I think after I got out of basic training, I marched maybe twice.
Right.
In my career.
Not a lot of call for it.
And once some deputy wing commander made us do a full march on beyond the runway, the whole wing or whatever the hell. We're all standing out there at attention, and suddenly here comes a jackrabbit running across it. Everybody started chasing the freaking jackrabbit. That's the end of the parade.
Oh man.
That was the end of the parade.
Do you remember as a kid going to any stuff like that? Parades and
Yeah, we never went to any parade.
Again, in Topeka, Kansas, we just go downtown and march on Main Street. And as we got toward the end of Main Street, there were a lot of bars there.
Mm-hmm.
And guys started.
Oh, just, by the end of the parade, there's
there's
8
8
guys
guys.
left.
So we didn't take that marching stuff too seriously.
right.
And then at school, we marched to school and back in Denver. And we had laughs there too. The girls, they were taking some kind of, I don't know, school. We'd had laugh cadence count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whee! That's them all. And they had a DI marching them. Foul mouthed woman I ever heard in my life. Wow. She could make a drunk sailor blush.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, he was something. I won't go into that.
Is there any stories about just like not being on call, but just being around your friends from the Air Force and like what you guys would do when you hang out? You know, what that was like.
I miss it. I miss. Oh, while I was in, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
then, yeah, we're at the NCO club. That's where.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember when we always had a stag bar, and everyone they wouldn't even page it in stag bar.
Mm-hmm.
And then the NCO WAPs, Women's Air Force, decided they wanted to go. We can go to the stag bar too. All right. Well, this one old master sergeant, wow, come in there. She left all red face. We let it go then and said, fine, go ahead. Ruined everything. We had a good thing going with that war.
How'd you kill time, like, on alert? Mostly just poker?
Shooting pool. We had a pool table always. And poker, a lot of poker. Yep.
Yeah.
And watching TV. We had one room downstairs to a TV room, lounge. That was the officers, and we were upstairs in the lounge. One co-pilot come up there crying because he couldn't watch his soap opera downstairs.
Oh.
He wanted to watch it on our. Yeah, sure. All right.
Oh man.
Yeah, wanted to watch his soap.
Is that at all the same as being EMT on call,
With,
hanging out?
Similar. We didn't
I
have the
don't know.
same.
You know, pool
Hours
table.
of boredom again.
Yeah, exactly. Hours of boredom punctuated by
Moments of stark
moments
terror.
of stark terror.
Yeah. The scariest I was ever flying was in the 135. I knew I was going to die. I absolutely knew it. The buff came in, overran us. He was under us. I'm looking down at the freaking receptacle. He's that far under us and close. And you don't get airplanes apart. And that happens.
Yeah.
And I'm talking fast. Why am I talking? And I was dead calm. I knew I was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dead calm, but I was talking like hell. I'm just doing my thing.
Right.
And somehow he finally dropped out and got away. And he's apologized for it, and I said, "That's all right. I carry extra underwear."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a cluck. I knew I was dead.
We're not getting out of this.
Or kind of those thoughts like,
It was just a matter of fact. I knew it was going to happen.
So you just continued to do your job.
Yeah, I tried to prevent it the best I could, and I did. And by talking to them, when you break away, my pilot cobs the engines and climbs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he climbs and this guy's down, that's it. We're done.
right.
The tail's going to go down. And I'm talking about don't climb, negative climb, boss, don't climb, don't climb. Don't. And he didn't. The spook, I call him the spook, we all did. But he was a damn good man, and he listened to me. He trusted me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need. You got to trust the guy.
Yeah, definitely.
That's one thing I don't agree with you. I don't know if they still do it or not, but if the airlines do it, you don't have a crew.
Yeah.
This plane's going to depart
switch
to
all the
Atlanta,
time.
and so on, so on. I need a pilot there, I need a co-pilot there, and
Yeah.
you don't know these guys.
Okay, yeah.
Can you trust them?
Right.
And sometimes you've got to trust the guy.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe in the crew concept. I knew their jobs, and they knew mine. And if I saw something going wrong, I'm telling them. Hey, boss,
Yeah.
I agree with the crew concept. I really, really do. And the Air Force was starting to do away with that. I retired. I don't agree with it. I
That's
don't know if
bad.
they ever did or not.
Yeah.
But yet, I don't want to fly the other way.
Right.
I-
Permanent crew.
But that's
It's
what's
gotta be.
that's
the
what it's
best
called.
way.
Standardization is what I did in the last many years. You're a check. I check the other guys. We call it standardization board is what it was. The pilots get it, and the navigators get it, and the boomers get it. And that's what I did. I evaluated for the last many years.
Mm-hmm.
Standardization is the idea that I can get on with you and fly, and you got a reasonable idea that I know what I'm doing. Okay. But after you fly with a guy for 2-3 times, you know exactly how he works and exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Lose an engine, says the co-pilot says we're losing number 3. I'm off in the morning going back and looking out the window what I'm doing right now, and the boss knows I'm doing that.
Right.
He don't tell me to do that, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I did that one time. We lost number 3, and that's the inboard engine on the right side. And I'm looking out the window right there, and it's right out there, and it that's compressor stall. Might have watching that big blowout fire out there in front of the engine.
Yeah, you're like 20 feet away from it.
Yeah, not that.
Not even that.
No.
Hey.
Yeah, it made a pretty sight. Well, have I tortured you guys enough yet, or are you still going?
I think I did all my questions.
Okay.
But if we have anything else to talk about, we definitely can. It's up to us when we wrap it up, so.
We'll wrap it up in cellophane or
Wrap it.
Reynolds wrap or something.
Yeah, sure.
Reynolds wrap. Okay.
All right, that's been the Third Eye Podcast. You already know all the information. Sub to the channel, Spotify, Instagram, all that in the description. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This was an awesome episode. So I appreciate having you on.
Glad to be I'm glad to be here and lie to you. So, and old soldiers never die. We just smell that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. I'll see you in the next episode.
All right. Next
Peace.
episode. Oh boy.
This is pain. I've been on ground for years, doing whatever it takes. I got